The Lord is our shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh I lie down in a green pastures. Him leadeth I beside still water them. Him restoreth I soul. Him leadeth I in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea! Though I Rasta go walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I can't fear no evil. For thy rod and thy staff them comforted I and I. Who prepares a table before I in the presence of our enemy them. Who anointed I head with no oil. The cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy I will follow I all the days of I Ivan. And I go dwell in the house of the Lord God. Jah, get them away. This is the Black Pot, aka Kuku Show them up, where we speak truth to power. We are live on Facebook and also live on YouTube. Please hit on the like button and share the broadcast so many more people can be part of this wonderful broadcast. This is where we speak truth to power. We are the headquarters of the truth. It is the Black Pot, aka Kuku Show them up, where we speak truth to power. And this is Black Empire Media. And of course, my name, Black Rasta. Now, in every traditional African home, there is a black pot. And each time this black pot sits on the fire, there is something super sumptuous cooking. Ingredients of so many different types, shapes, and sizes, aromas, and also flavors. Put aside all their differences and relocate into the black pot where they are subjected to some good amount of heating. At the end of the day, they produce food in all this sumptuousness for the nourishment of the family. That is what we do here. We pick up all the various ideas and then we select from these numerous ideas the creme de la creme and use that for the development of our people, our continent, our land. This is where we speak truth to power, the headquarters of the truth. And here we do not compromise the truth. Above all, we don't criticize, but if we must criticize, we would only just criticize to build and not to destroy. That is why we keep saying we are in the service of God and country. Our numbers are scrolling on the screen. Pick up the numbers and do business with us. Maybe you have a story you want us to follow up on. Pick up the numbers and call us or send us a WhatsApp message. We will certainly follow up that in the interim. This is the voice of the people, and the voice of the people is the voice of God. Send your comments coming in. We would also be reading them in 2 batches in the interim. Story number 1. Now, the very first story we are looking at today says Adwoa Safo denies voting for E-Levy. How many of us know Adwoa Safo? Sarah Adwoa Safo is this beautiful woman you see here. She's the most arrogant politician in our time. My brother, my sister, she decided to forsake her ministry, the ministry of children, gender, women, and social welfare. And she went all the way to America. And when journalists pursued her and asked her why she had absconded on an AWOL, she was arrogant enough to say, my family comes to me first. My family is more important to me than the republic that I swore to serve. My brother, my sister, upon pressure, the president of the Republic of Ghana, who appointed her as the minister, decided to sack her. She wrote a letter thanking the president for giving her the opportunity to serve. And then she later apologized to her party members and party, not to the people of Ghana. For dirty politicians like this, it's all about their political party and never about Ghana. I have lost all kind of respect for this woman here. She's called Adwoa Safo, very arrogant. Now, in the days of the E-Levy, do we all remember? They flew all the way to America in a chartered flight and brought her in that same chartered flight to come and vote right there inside the Parliament House for a dirty levy called the E-Levy. She appeared like this in Parliament on the day. Remember, it was the days of the COVID, so many of the MPs were dressed like this, with face masks all over their faces. Many people have compared these two photographs, and many have said that this was not Adwoa Safo and that it was somebody else who impersonated her with her permission. Today, Adwoa Safo is saying that she never voted for the E-Levy. The E-Levy that she supposedly was ferried all the way from America in a chartered flight to come and vote. As to who paid for that chartered flight, only posterity will judge us at the right time. Today, this is the news. I did not vote on E-Levy. I have no regrets. Adwoa Safo speaks. And she's a former member of parliament for Domi Kwabenya. Sarah Adwoa Safo, the daughter of Christo Asafo. Robert Mayot, former member of parliament for Domi Kwabenya, Sarah Adwoa Safo has stated that she has no regrets over her decision to abstain from voting on the electronic transfer levy in parliament in 2022. Speaking during an interview on Asempa FM on Tuesday, March 18, 2025, she stated that her decision was influenced by the hardship the levy would impose on ordinary Ghanaians who are still struggling to survive. According to her, she was torn between her allegiance to the New Patriotic Party and her constituents. Some NPP members kicked against the E-Levy because of the hardship it will impose on the ordinary Ghanaian who are struggling to make ends meet. It did not sit well with me. I had discussions with my father and I was torn between my church and my political party. Listen, my church and my political party. Nowhere in this conversation did she mention Ghana. Church, constituents, political party, never about Ghana. In Domi Kwabenya, most of our church members opposed it. I took a firm decision to recuse myself. I am looking forward to the day in parliament where MPs would have the courage to vote against policies of government, he stated. She stated. Now, the E-Levy was passed in parliament despite a walkout by the minority in parliament. Meanwhile, the current president, John Dramani Mahama, and his government have announced that the removal of the levy will take effect at the end of March 2025. Dash it away. My brother, now this is ambiguous. Was she the one in parliament? Was she not the one in parliament? Earlier interviews had her say that she was the one in parliament. Was she in parliament and refused to vote? Or she was not in parliament and allowed an impersonation? If she knew she was not going to vote for the E-Levy, why did she allow herself to be ferried all the way in a private jet? In fact, in a chartered flight, all the way from America to the Parliament House. Why was there the need for the gymnastics? Couldn't she have voted in proxy via a letter to the Speaker of Parliament? Via email, she could have told them that, listen, I know that there's a certain E-Levy coming up. I do not want to vote for this E-Levy. I vote against it. She could have prevented the gymnastics and the drama that ensued. But my brother, my sister, she's made it clear that she was not for the E-Levy, but the hypocrite, or better, the hypocrite that she is, she didn't say it at the time. That would have helped even direct the elections better. But she stood by her party. She even still stood on the ticket of the party to contest after she failed and lost. Now she's saying that I didn't go with the E-Levy. What a hypocrite. I have a problem with politicians who refuse to make their views known because they know that it will divert the political journey. They are equally guilty and they are hypocrites. Adwoa Safo is a hypocrite, and my brother, my sister, the more she is seen as such, the better. You didn't vote for the E-Levy. You were torn between your church and your political party. You were torn between the political party and your constituency, right? At the end of the day, did you tell your constituency you were against the E-Levy? According to her, she voted against the E-Levy. Now her party knows that she did. Now that it has become a populist propaganda that many of the NPP people are even now against the E-Levy. My brother, my sister, the E-Levy that they said was going to prevent us from going to the IMF and the World Bank to continue asking for money and begging for money. A few days later, after passing the E-Levy, they realized that they had failed. And therefore, they still went to the IMF and the World Bank to ask for loans that we are saddled with right now. Posterity will judge Adwoa Safo. Posterity would judge the finance minister at the time, Kenu Foriata. Posterity would judge the Nana Akufo-Addo Bawumia government. Posterity would judge this dirty NPP party. My brother, my sister, for unleashing nothing but hardships onto Ghanaians. And to President John Dramani Mahama, it's a good thing E-Levy is going to be a thing of the past. I pray that the hard work that you have started, you will continue with that energy and even more. Because you understand more than I do that it's all about the legacy that you leave behind for Ghana. Ghana and Ghana alone. It's the Blakk Pot, a.k.a. Kukushonemo. And here we speak truth to power. Hey! Hey! Whoa! It's the Blakk Pot, a.k.a. Kukushonemo. And here we speak truth to power. My name, Blakk RASTA. Remember to share the broadcast and remember to send us your messages via YouTube and also Facebook. Next story. Now the next story we are looking at is equally interesting. Kennedy Agyapong falls again in the US. Who is Kennedy Agyapong? A former member of parliament, very outspoken, self-accomplished businessman, and self-professed rich man. This is Kennedy Agyapong. He has a TV station in Ghana which is used mostly for propaganda, political propaganda. He also has a radio station in Ghana. In fact, in the run-up to the election, his radio station and TV station played a vital role in a lot of exposés and also some kind of information that aided his party and beyond, the NPP. Sometimes he rises against his own party, criticizes his party, and talks like the patriot that we want everybody in Ghana to be. Other times, it's all about politics. In fact, he threatened to give Nana Akufo-Addo, the former president, a showdown because he felt that his presidential ambition was being trampled on in the run-up to the last elections. This is Kennedy Agyapong, former member of parliament, self-professed rich man. This man said he's richer than all American politicians except one, and that is Bloomberg. You know who Bloomberg is? Bloomberg is the only politician in America that Kennedy Agyapong claims he is richer than him. In fact, in an interview on Joy Prime, some few months back, he said that he is richer than all American actors and actresses, including all the politicians in America, except Bloomberg. In fact, this is Kennedy Agyapong. He says he would always pay his way out of every situation if money is the only thing needed to do that. It looks like he's been given a very good run for his talk. Is it mere talk or he truly has something in his bank account? Well, Well, we all remember a few months back, he took a journalist to court, and I'm talking about Kevin Taylor, and he lost. It's the 10 of Anas Armiyaw Anas, who took him to court right here in Ghana and lost. In fact, it was an abysmal decision or verdict by the court, and many people have criticized the judge. He called Anas Armiyaw Anas an investigative terrorist. In fact, he sided with Kennedy Agyapong that Anas is a murderer and a thief and a blackmailer, because these were the issues Anas took to court, and he fell flat in Ghana. Anas decided to carry it all the way to America, in the city of New Jersey's Essex. Oh my God. Here is Kennedy Agyapong sitting down with his lawyers and a policeman standing behind him, and you could see that his smoothness level had been achieved. Oh my God. Kennedy Agyapong sitting right here, right now, standing up for the verdict. Anas Armiyaw Anas was not allowed to go into the court with his beaded mask. This was how he appeared in court. That's Anas Armiyaw Anas. This was how he appeared in court. But of course, those who know Anas like me know that he was still disguised. My brother, my sister, he wore a heavy lens, and at the same time, he wore a prosthetic hair, and at the same time, he had some hair and beard and whatsoever added to whatever he had. My brother, my sister, this is Anas Armiyaw Anas as he represented himself in the court right there in America. Those of us who know Anas, my brother, even if you see him like this, you will not recognize him. So he still achieved that hiding his identity phenomenon. My brother, my sister. Now, what are the details of the issue as published by the media houses in Ghana? This is from Tree News, my own Tree News, and it says United States Court awards 18 million American dollars to investigative journalist Anas Armiyaw Anas in a defamation suit against Kennedy Agyapong. Oh my God. Run the story. U.S. court awards Anas Armiyaw Anas 18 million American dollars in defamation case against Kennedy Agyapong. Now, a U.S. court has awarded investigative journalist Anas Armiyaw Anas in a defamation suit against Ghanaian MP Kennedy Agyapong over allegations made during a 2021 interview. That's 4 years ago. Now, the ruling delivered by the Essex County Superior Court in the United States follows a lawsuit Anas filed over comments made by Agyepong during a September 7, 2021 interview on the Daddy Fred Show. The online program hosted by the US-based Ghanaian Frederick Asamoah and broadcast in the Twi language featured remarks in which Kennedy Agyapong labeled Anas as a criminal and a thief. Now, the former MP also alleged that Anas was responsible for the murder of fellow investigative journalist Ahmed Swale and the deaths of multiple Chinese nationals in Ghana. Anas, widely known for his undercover journalism exposing corruption, argued in court that these statements severely damaged his reputation and put his life in danger. This lawsuit in the United States came after Ghana's Supreme Court had dismissed an earlier defamation case he filed against Agyapong. In his defense, Kennedy Agyapong claimed that his statements were made in the heat of a political dispute and were not meant to be taken literally. However, the U.S. court sided with Anas, ruling that the statements were defamatory and awarding him 18 million American dollars in damages. Wow. Wow. So this is Kennedy Agyapong after the verdict. He had become cold like a chicken. Imagine Kennedy Agyapong said that he made those remarks in the heat of a political routine. How can you destroy somebody's image and reputation by some heat that you claim you were in during a political season? It's irresponsible. This was the same Kennedy Agyapong who went out there and said a certain woman whose name I don't want to mention got her position because she was sleeping with a certain president. Later he came out and said, oh, it was a joke. My brother, we can't do that. Several times, even after the elections, Kennedy Agyapong still went ahead to call Anas a thief. He called him an armed robber, a land guard, and a blackmailer and a murderer. I'm glad the American courts decided in their own wisdom that this is what they will do. There's a man by name Kwekwa Zan. He's a political figure. Professor Kwekwa Zan. He's affiliated to the NDC. He posted something on social media about Anas Armiyao Anas's victory in court. But from the side of Kennedy Agyapong, they vehemently attacked the post and said it was fake. That's Kwekwa Zan. In fact, the original post did not have the fake news stamped or embossed on it. It only said, Essex County jury awards Anas $18 million in his defamation suit against Kennedy Agyapong, who has requested blah, 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 blah. Bam! They said fake news. Now the idea is very simple. What was actually decided in court? What are the court documents saying about this issue? From the website of the court itself, and lawyers who helped me to decode it, it is clear that the jury has come to the conclusion that Kennedy Agyapong needs to pay 18 million in damages to Anas Armiyao Anas. But the lawyers of Kennedy Agyapong are trying to speak to the judge to interfere with the judgment. And it's legal. To try and make it a mistrial. Because for them, there was a certain mistake which they claim was acknowledged in court. That is where it stands. But as it stands right now, the court has made it clear. 18 million in defamation and damages to Anas Armiyao Anas. And this is Manasseh Azure Awuni. He was one of the first to post this. So sources from New Jersey in the United States reveal that Anas Armiyao Anas has won a defamation case against Kennedy Agyapong. Kennedy Agyapong has been slapped with $18 million in damages. He appealed for a reduction, but failed. He's a rich man, isn't he? Now, I remember he said time and again that, hey, if I am guilty, I will always pay. After all, I got the money. Why ask for a reduction? Does Kennedy Agyapong have 18 million American dollars to pay? Well, he said he's richer than all American politicians except one, Bloomberg. This should help us know that there's a limit to whatever utterances we make. Let's respect people. And if we're not sure, if our only reason is political heat or political errors heat, then we'll come and make noise, defame people, and go free because we have some friends in the Ghana courts. It looks like every Ghanaian will soon start running to America to seek proper justice. And this is an indictment on some of our courts and our judges. Is the Blakk Pot, aka Kokoshonomo. And to Kennedy Agyapong, bring him here. Quick, Kennedy Agyapong, with all respect and love, I'm happy that you have to pay 18 million American dollars. It will reduce your wealth. And when it does, the man that you are that loves money and wealth, it will teach you a great lesson. I'm a supporter of yours. I will support you each time you are right. But there are other times that you are wrong. Today you are wrong. And 18 million. He was paying 50,000 American dollars every semester for his daughter's upkeep in America, in school. Maybe 18 million American dollars is nothing to him. If it was nothing, why did he ask for a reduction? Now that it's been slapped on him, I think the verbal diarrhea will reduce. Is the Blakk Pot. aka Kukushonamo. And what did Anas say after this verdict? Anas quickly said that it will teach politicians never to take journalists for a ride. And of course, as it stands right now, it will open the eyes of some of our courts all over Africa that are fast becoming kangaroo courts. It's the Blakk Port, aka Kukushonamo, where we speak truth to power. When I return, we take your messages and do more. Hey! Hawaii! Wayo!
Blakk Kukushonamo.
All right. So much heat. Let's look at your comments, right? Okay. So send your comments via Facebook and also via YouTube. Kamil Mohammed says, good evening, Black Rasta, aka Kukushonamo. Watching you live from Barcelona in Spain. Vuvo Noel says, good evening, one and only boss. Humphrey Ankuo says, Black Rasta, your call of the day is always an assignment to me after the show. Respect. Omaimba Nananya Sahine Angwa says, Agyapong must be ashamed of himself, just as the judiciary of Ghana. Cases in Ghana's courts are determined by the size of the goat you offer judges. I like that statement. Yes, a lot of the cases, like Anas proved in his documentary, the size of the goat will determine how much injustice can be meted out to innocent people. It's a shame. Yes, we have more comments coming in. All right. Omaimba Nyansahini goes on to say Black Rasta, and I say Omaimba Mubarak MBK says on time. Power to the youth. Yahya Ahmed says, Black Rasta, my mentor. Keep the fire burning. All right? No problem at all. Contin TV News says, Black Rasta fire. Raham's Empire TV, Black Rasta, you are welcome back. Your students are ready to listen to wisdom and the truth. Thank you for the good work you've been doing. God bless you and your team. Bent Brown says, I have a question that bothers me. Why do we call dishonest people honorable? Politicians are the last people on this planet that should be honest people. I agree with you. A lot of them are so dishonorable. Mohammed Banjir one says, welcome on board, Ja people. One love. Raw me General Salaga Soldier Black. Keep speaking truth to power. Dobia. Tisha Nyanga. We dare your back. Come here. Run the story, my youth. Why? Signed, MC Scorpion. Wani boy. Long time no see. Says, good evening, Black. Welcome back. Hope you had a good day today. Why? Yes. Ben Brown says, people who should be called honorable. Teachers, scientists, shoe repairers, coconut sellers. These people are more honest in the eyes of God than the politician. Don't I agree with you? I do. I do agree with you. We have more comments coming in, and these comments are going to be read in the next batch. Next story. And this is the Black Empire Media. Soon, we would have our own TV station and also radio station. Adwoa Safo endorses Carlos AHENKORAH'S lawlessness. Do you know Carlos AHENKORAH? That's him. This was the guy who chewed ballot paper in the Parliament House like a pregnant goat. The same guy in the days of COVID tested positive for the virus and was supposed to be quarantined. He decided not to do it. He went to the polling station where crowds were with his COVID body, and only God knows how many people he infested with his COVID. President got embarrassed and decided to relieve him of his post because he was undermining the fight against COVID-19. Thanks to the president. This was the same guy in parliament who rose against Ablakwa, Honorable Ablakwa, calling him all sorts of names. My brother, my sister, because he was granting an interview, this man crashed the interview and started hurling insults at Honorable Ablakwa. I remember that. The Speaker of Parliament had to come in after everything and bring the matter to a certain level. Sometimes I am tempted to find out the educational background of this guy. He doesn't look like an educated person to me, to be honest with you. Because things that he does and the kind of rhetoric that I hear him exude, he lacks a lot of knowledge, and I want to believe that he has very little education. But these are the honorables we have in Ghana. After what he did in parliament, they were voting for the Speaker of Parliament. He realized his speaker was losing. Mr. Okoye was losing. And he decided to crash the election. He stole ballot paper. Like this, he was running away. This was taking life in parliament. And he chewed the ballot paper like a goat on heat, maybe a crocodile on heat. Look at it. Look at what happened in parliament on the day. Watch this. They're running after him. Look at him. Look, he's put it in his mouth. He's running to the other side. Can you see? They are chasing him in parliament, Ghana parliament. This happened. People who call themselves lawmakers, so lawless. Look at what happened in parliament. They had to call in the police and soldier to bring order. Punches were delivered here. At the end of the day, he granted an interview in which he said his love for his party made him become so lawless against his own country. Can you believe this lack of common sense and patriotism? Adwoa Safo said she supports what the man did. Another dimwit. This one here is supposed to be called a lawyer. This one here is supposed to be called a learned colleague. What did she learn? Chaff. When I look at people like Adwoa Safo, I don't even want to get anywhere near the law school. I'm so ashamed and embarrassed by these dimwits. Run the story. Ballot snatching. Carlos AHENKORAH'S saved NPP from disgrace. Listen, saved NPP from disgrace, but put Ghana in disgrace. She doesn't care. After all, it's all about the NPP. You see the level of thinking? Run the story. Former Domi Kwabenya member of parliament, Adwoa Safo, has stated that the New Patriotic Party should be grateful to former Tema West MP Carlos AHENKORAH for saving the party's reputation during the election of the 8th Speaker of Parliament. Listen to this. Speaking in an interview on Empire FM Psychosis, saying, Adwoa Safo explained that AHENKORAH'S controversial decision to snatch and chew some of the ballot papers helped prevent a major embarrassment for the NPP. Why do you think Carlos went to snatch the papers and destroy them? He knew that if the number of no votes had been revealed, it would have been a disgrace for the NPP. So he had to act swiftly, but he suffered for it, she said. Safo was responding to rumors suggesting she had voted against Professor Aaron Mike Okoye, the then Speaker of Parliament. She vehemently denied these claims, calling them vile rumors and insisting that she had no reason to vote against Okoye. Even during the primaries, the issue came up, but I dare the NPP leadership to come out and confirm that only 2 people voted against Professor Okoye. It's not true. Dash. Oh, Carlos AHENKORAH, he saved the NPP, a small, tiny party, as against the big picture universal set called Ghana. If the results had come out and they had seen the number of no votes, they would have known that the NPP themselves are against Mike Okoye. That's what she's saying. Lawmakers who are most unlawful. If this was an Ashaiman boy who had done that, he would have been in jail for the past how many years? But pot-belly politicians who want to call themselves honorables, they are still walking about. What happened to Carlos Ahenkora? Nothing. What did they do to him? Yet in parliament, they claim they have all the laws. Dress well. This is unparliamentary language. Oh, you can't come to parliament and walk like this. And all that. They have the power to hail people, haul them into the parliament house for whatever reason, but they cannot discipline their own pot-bellied gangsters. But it tells you the crop of politicians we have now. Adwoa Safo and her ilk. Now she wants to gain a certain kind of rapport with the NDC that's in power. This is a woman who is a yes woman. No common sense of patriotism, and they have low morals. It's the Blakk pot, aka Kokoshonomo, where we speak truth to power. This is where we bring it all to an end. Messages. Raka says, my boss, you are too much. Think them right. In fact, Kennedy's lifestyle is the one Afenyo King is doing now. Conscious Agbemenu Ahosu. I greet you, my brother. Blakk Rasta, let the fire blaze. I'm watching you live from Abekabo tree inside Big Dream Herbal Shop. Respect. Francis Elikem Kojoti. Conscious Agbemenu, we still don't have any sponsor from you for Black Empire Media and also for Urban Blend. What's happening? All right. Francis Elikem Kojoti says, more blessings, sir. And he says, more grace, Blakk Rasta. And he says, one love. Respect, Francis Elikem Kojoti. All right. More comments? This is the Urban Blend. Oh, it is the Black Empire Media. King Obatala says, King Kuchoko Blakk Rasta, respect. I'm going to be seeing you over the weekend, hopefully, right? King Obatala, respect. Yao Babana Adam says, more fire, Blakk Rasta. Tompo says, Ghana justice is for sale, but not in the Western countries. In the Western countries, justice is for all. Alasan K. Karim says, Hussein Bolt. Hussein Bolt. All right. It's where we bring it all to an end. I appreciate you and I love you. It's been the Blakk Pot, aka Kokoshonomo, coming live to you on the Black Empire TV. I love you. My name is Blakk Rasta. Hey! Way! Wayo!